So there we go. So guys, I appreciate you getting on here. Again, just a reminder, we do this every Tuesday. We normally have a topic, although the first Tuesday of the month, we just kind of open it up as a free for all. We'll just see where we go here. Anything and everything real estate related, production related. We'll just get some good discussion going, see what's working for everybody. But I had asked Jim, I just texted Jim about an hour ago just to see if he might be free. Jim's a big agent back in Ohio. Actually did a training for us. It's probably been 3 or 4 months ago now on short sales. That was awesome. We're starting to see those make a comeback here, which I hate doing short sales, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. And so, anyway, why don't you unmute yourself, Jim? I wanted Jim. Jim's an Icon agent, him and his wife, Stacy. So, just to start us off, I thought maybe you could share a little bit. Just, what are you seeing right now? I mean, of course, the whole shift in the market. We're all still talking about all that stuff. What are you guys seeing? What are you, what's going on with you and Stacy back there?
Stacy and I have been selling homes since '97. So she started when she was 4 years old when she started that. So we've been doing this a long time, and we've been with EXP now for 4 years. We're four-time Icon agents, and our EXP anniversary is September 1st. And something pretty cool, Jeff, that you'll like is Stacy has enough deals in the pipe right now in Sky Slope to cap out in 1 month.
Oh, wow.
So she's going to cap out in 1 month, and that's on an average sales price of $275,000.
Wow.
I think I was talking to Kim. She says they're like $1 million. Their median price there in San Diego. Here in Columbus, Ohio, you're talking about a median price of about 250, right? So pretty incredible. I think she's got 14 closings lined up or something like that for September, which is awesome. So we'll cap out. We'll be running at 100% the rest of the year, and we'll be Icons again sometime probably by December, basically when it's going.
Run it by me.
What's that? Oh, I thought somebody had a question.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyways, so we just got back from the Build Conference. If you havenent been to the Build Conference, Brent Gove puts it on for EXP agents down in Dallas every year. It was the 2023 Build. There'll be one coming up in August, so set your calendars for it. You got to go. One thing that I was reminded after doing this for 25 years of selling houses is that how easy it's been to sell real estate for the last decade, maybe even a little more than a decade. Since the crash, which was devastating, it's been easy, and it's been easy to get lazy. And what I mean by that is our skills. We need to get back to being skill-based. And even after doing this for 25 years, Stacey and I have a lot of honing to get back to hone our skills and get sharp with everything that's going on. So I was reminded of that. And I think everybody needs to do that. We need to get skill-based, because here's what's going to happen. Some people are saying the market's getting ready to shift. I would argue the market has already shifted. Like all the numbers we're looking at is behind us, right? And so I think the market has shifted. And here's what's going to happen. The agent count's going to continue to climb. It's going to continue to go up. And we're going to see the number of sales level off. So there's going to be this window in the graph here where the number of transactions per agent is going to decrease. And I don't want that to happen to anybody in our group. We're going to have to get really good at going back to prospecting and talking to our sphere of influence to really get in there with them and make sure that we're the agent top of mind awareness when it comes time to do referrals. Because I don't know about any of you on here, but I want to get my unfair share. I don't want to be fair with it. I want to get my unfair share with it. And just to give you an idea, Jeff, we just took our third short sale of the year. So yeah, short sales are coming back. They are a necessary evil. If you don't know how to do short sales, get trained on them and get ready. And you can beat everybody to the punch. You don't want to be behind the curve in any of this type of training stuff. So the other thing we're doing is we're talking to every agent we've talked to in the last 4 years about EXP. We're getting back in front of them and just asking them a question. If they want to meet up in person to discuss the market, we're not asking them, hey, do you want to talk about EXP? We're saying, hey, do you want to get together and talk about what's going on in the market? And let's figure out what's happening so that we have a plan. And it's a great intro just to go talk business with somebody. Grab a beer. I tell people all the time, I do my best work over beer and chicken wings. But a coffee, right? A beer, something like that. But talking to agents about what's relevant. This was all stuff that was triggered in our brains while being at the Build Conference. One of the other things that really struck us was this, is that when markets contract a little bit, or as Stacy and I are using the term balance, the market's going to balance itself versus contract. That's a terrible negative word to put out to our sphere. It's going to balance. It's going to get back to more of a normal market. A lot of people pull back on their marketing efforts. And really what should happen in that type of scenario is you should push harder with it. You got to invest in your business. Now, maybe you need to cut back in other parts of your life. You might need to get rid of some TV subscriptions, Netflix and stuff like that, and pour it into marketing in your business, because this is when the separation will occur. When this happens in the market, this has happened 3 times before in our 25 years. This will be the 4th time. You have to invest, and you can separate yourself from all the posers isn't a good word, but I'm just going to say that because that's what's in my brain. The posers out there, right? The people that are playing at the game. Because look, a trained monkey could sell real estate for the last 10 years. You just get a sign, stick it in the yard, put it in the MLS, and it's sold, right? It's going to become skill-based, and you're going to have to do it. And so Stacy and I are going to get really sharp at generating leads. And here's how we're investing in our business. We're going to build a traditional team. We've got 142 agents in our revenue share group, but none of them are our traditional. We're going to build a traditional team and feed them leads, because I think there's going to be a lot of agents that don't know how to lead generate, and they're going to be looking for somebody to join even at a reduced commissions, right? Because they're going to pay the split to the team lead. So we're going to build a traditional team. That's how we're going to invest in our business during this balancing of the marketplace. I get that word in my head. Stacy and I became the state leaders for Ohio for the EXP Military Network. If you guys haven't got involved in the EXP Military Network, I know a bunch of you are in Colorado and Texas and things like that. Look, get involved in that. It's going to be huge. It's not just leads and recruiting. It's going to be actually making an impact in the community for veterans. I'm a 12-year military veteran. It's a very big deal for me. And Stacy and I were named the state leaders. If you want to see in your state, whoever's on here, if there's a state leader yet, if you have military experience or a military spouse, you could become the state leader for your state. So check that out. So that's big. We're launching that here in Ohio. We're speaking at the state meeting coming up this week. Hey, when doing real estate, Stacy and I learned you got to have fun. So we're leaving for the Virgin Islands here for the rest of September here, coming up in a couple of days. We'll be back in October to go to EXPCon. If you're not registered for EXPCon, make sure you go to Vegas. I know you're thinking, okay, the market's bouncing, I should hold on to my money. Warren Buffett said this: the best way to beat inflation and a market disruption, which we're getting ready to see in the entire economy, right? We have double-digit inflation. Interest rates are going to go up to double digits. It's going to happen. The best way to do that is to beat it, according to Warren Buffett, is to invest in your education. Hone your skills. Get better than the other people. Do the hard work to do that, and you can beat a market that, you know, a lot of the news media and stuff like that will say is a down market. It won't be down for you because you'll separate yourself from all the others. So EXPCon is the best way to do that. Get there, plug in, and go to that. Here at home, we've been running some really cool stuff with our group called C-O-R-D, C-O-R-D-D, and that stands for Central Ohio Realtor Day Drinking. And we do that once a month. And we have you got to have some fun. We have our allied partners, our home inspector, our title company, our lender, our PN property and casualty insurance, right? They all foot the bill on it, and we bring a bunch of realtors together. There's no talking recruiting, there's no training, there's no agenda. We just get together and we drink and eat and just hang out. And it's cool for the people that are already in EXP, and it's also people that are looking at EXP. It's cool to see that we're not these big scary people like their brokers tell them. We're fun people. We're just trying to give agents the ability to live their best life on that. And then the last thing, and then I'll shut up, is we are definitely trimming our extraneous expenses. Well, what we call it is getting lean and mean. We've got a lot of expenses that, you know, look, real estate was so easy. It was easy to just let stuff go and things like that. We're trimming all of our expenses. You know, I've got a BMW that I was thinking about getting a new one, and we're just going to hold off on it for right now. The one I have is fine. You know, may not need to go get a new one. And especially since Stacy just got a Maserati, she took one of her icon awards that when the stock spiked, and cashed it and bought a Maserati with it. So when people say, what do you get being at EXP with that icon award? Oh, a brand new Maserati. So there you go. That was it. Anyways, I'm done. There you go. That's what we got going on.
That's awesome. Let me real quick, because I know Jim has to leave here in a few minutes. He's got an appointment coming up, but I appreciate you getting on here, Jim. I know you're busy. 14 closings, and you're heading to the Virgin Islands.
Yeah. So one thing that you can invest in your business if you want to have free time, Stacy and I became empty nesters, but is a good transaction coordinator. And when you find a good one, you test them out by paying them a little bit in the beginning, but when you find a good one, you pay them all the money. And she got one and we pay her all the money. And it sounds like a lot when you're paying it out of each closing, but when you do the math on how many closings extra per year you have to do to pay her entire salary, not salary, we pay per deal, by the way, sorry. It is absolutely worth it. And she does all the paperwork and stuff. So COVID actually made it so we can run our real estate business from the Virgin Islands because people are okay with Zoom and FaceTime now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. What kind of questions do you guys have for Jim? I mean, just to throw some things out or comments on anything that he shared. Let's open it up a little bit before he does have to take off.
Besides, how can one guy talk that fast with one breath? It's amazing.
So here, jot my notes down. So thoughts on it. Questions for Jim. Anybody?
When you, Jim, when you talked about that EXP military network, can you just go on to workplace and just type that in the search bar? I'm assuming it'll just pop right up.
Yep, that's a great question. So yeah, they just launched it, and they talked about. We got a sneak peek of it at the shareholders convention back in June. By the way, if you haven't gone to shareholders, make sure you go to that next spring. They talked about it. We saw it, and they just launched it. Had their first breakfast at Build, and they're going to really blow it out for EXPCon. But yes, go to workplace. EXP Military Network. Here's the hat. I don't know if you can see that or not on there, but
Cool.
there's gonna be swag and all kinds of stuff you can get. And then there'll be a state leader in your state and you can participate in it. And it is, a lot of people support the military and it's a great thing. We're going to be helping veterans, not just with housing, but with other things too. It's going to be awesome.
It looks like it's only for veterans.
No,
So-
definitely not just for veterans. They wanted the leadership to be veterans. Yeah, you can absolutely be a participant in it in the EXP Military Network. No, good question on that, Kim.
Cool. You mentioned the short sale. So you just had your third one?
Just got our third one, and it was somebody that bought their house last year, spouse passed, and they're with all the fees and things like that, upside down, can't afford it without the spouse, and we're going to short sale it, get their debt forgiven, and get them out without destroying their credit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm Mike Rosenboom here. I'm curious on the short sale because that was a while ago that lenders did that. Do they kind of have a good memory on the effectiveness of those? Did they have to dust it off? Because I mean, it's good. It's ultimately better for the lenders to short sale it, which is, I mean, they weren't doing it in mass because it was just good for folks. It was also good business sense for them to not be taking back hordes of houses. But what was your experience with, I mean, were there still people around at these banks who knew how to do them? What was your experience with those and which banks were they? Do you remember?
Yep. So loss mitigation departments still exist. They shrank by a bunch, which is actually a good thing because you can actually get back in touch with the same person when you call in, right?
Okay.
But all the big banks still have loss mitigation departments because here's the reality is people still, bad things still happen to good people. And from job losses to job transfers to sicknesses to, unfortunately deaths, people need to have that option. And you're absolutely right, Boom. Is that your name, Boom? That's a kick-ass name.
Nickname, yeah.
That's awesome. That's how my name. If I ever have another kid, Stacy, if we have another kid, we name him Boom. But
There you go.
yeah, they're still doing them and they're out there. And it's much better than when Stacy and I tried to start doing in 2006. We tried to do short sales before they were household word.
Right.
And it took a long time and a lot of legality. But now the process is there. Banks do not want to take possession of these houses. They do not want them to be REOs. They know they're going to have to hire a realtor anyways to get it gone. Why take possession of the house and then get it broken into and people stealing the copper plumbing and the air conditioning units? They'd rather just sell it and keep someone in it and they get their money back and they put it back out on the street at a higher interest rate. Think about it right now. They're short selling a 3.5%, 4% interest rate, and they're going to put it back on the street at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, they're ecstatic. Give us our money back and let us loan it back out for more. Yeah.
And guys, if you missed it, seriously, a few months ago, Jim and Stacy did a full-on hour on a Tuesday morning on short sales. And that training, you can find that in Workplace in the Freedom Team group. If you go into the learning tab, all the recordings, we've been doing this now since like last October. So they're all there. Okay. Every topic you can think of, we'll keep adding to that. So if you can't find it, let me know. If you're not with EXP, let me know. We can certainly send you the link to that as well.
And you get to meet the brains and the beauty of the operation, which is Stacy, but she's got 14 closings. She's trying to get lined up before we get out of here in a couple of days. So she's
really
working.
I have a
For
question.
sure. Yep.
I have a question. Where are you finding the short sales? How does one find a short sale?
Yeah, that's great question, Nancy. So we're putting out to our sphere on social media and also through our email. We have a mass emailing, right, for our past clients, and saying, hey, by the way, they're very rare, but if you happen to know anybody who's had something happen in their life, a divorce, an illness, a death, something that's just out of their control, we always use the tagline, bad things happen to good people, we can help them. They don't have to go through foreclosure and bankruptcy. We can help them not have to go through that. And it's a very respectful process. And it's actually on their side of doing it. The banks like it. There's my cat. She knows if I'm in front of the computer, it's time to get fed. Does that answer your question, Nancy? Facebook, just put it out there to your sphere. I call it the, hey, who do you know? Who do you know who might need help? Please send me their information. One thing I found with our sphere of influence is you have to teach them how to give you a referral. If you just tell people to go out and if they just hand out your name and number, guess how many of those people ever call you? None, right? They never get a hold of you because you're a stranger to them. So I asked them, hey, could you just do me a favor? Could you connect us on a 3-way text? Just make an introduction and I'll take it from there, or on a group email or on a group Facebook message. Just connect us. That way they know who I am and I'll take it from there. I'll be forever indebted to you. If you ever need anything, I'd be there to help you out with it. If you need me to walk your dog, if you need me to take you to the airport, babysit your kids, you let me know. I'm your guy. I appreciate your referrals. Boom.
Awesome. Cool. Anything else for Jim before he leaves us here?
Jim, I do a lead gen every Wednesday for new agents. What do you have? What wisdom do you have for new agents coming in right now?
The number one way to generate a lead is your sphere of influence. And I learned this from Krista Mayshore, so I won't take intellectual credit from it. If you don't know Krista Mayshore, she's an incredible teacher. What would you call it? A coach, right? A coach and mentor. And I love the fact she gives away a lot of her stuff on top of her stuff you pay for. But she teaches this, and I believe in it wholeheartedly, and that is video is the future. And you should be, as a new agent, when people say, how much time should I spend on lead gen? I say, well, how long is your work day? My work day is 8 hours. Okay, great. How many showings or contracts or closings do you have that day during that 8-hour period? Well, I have none. Great. So you should be spending 8 hours on lead generation that day. And here's what you need to do. You need to go through your Facebook account and you need to send a video message, a short one, short video message through Facebook Messenger. The reason you're going to do that is because the Facebook algorithm is going to think that the two of you are very important to each other. And what it's going to do is it's going to put your other propaganda, also known as your Facebook posts for your business, in their newsfeed. Okay. But you're just going to send them a message and saying, hey, Bob, I know I haven't talked to you 20 years since high school, but I looked at your page. Looks like things are going great. Great job being a parent. Your vacation looked awesome. Would love to catch up with you sometime. Boom. Send it. That's it. Don't say, hey, do you happen to know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? That's a later script you're going to use, right? The Tom Ferry on it. But you're just going to be looking to see who wants to pay attention to you, who wants to be your friend, who wants to communicate with you. And here's what you'll find. Some people will do nothing. You'll know they watched it because it shows they watched it, right? Some people send a thumbs up. Other people send thank you so much. But others are going to communicate with you. They're going to want to talk to you. Those are the people you want to invest your time in building a relationship with. And it can even just be online for now. And what you're looking for is people called super fans. And super fans are people that, whether they're at a cocktail party, they're in the grocery store line, or they're anywhere, if somebody mentions the word real estate, they're going to say, oh, I got somebody you got to meet. and they're going to connect you in the right way. They're not going to hand out your phone number. They're not going to give out your business card. They're going to say, hey, let me send you a 3-way text and connect you with my friend Kim. She's the best. And they do that. And because everybody out there that NAR says, National Association of Realtors says, everybody knows 5 people that would do a real estate transaction this year. Every person knows 5. So your friend who knows 16 realtors, by the way, that's the number of realtors most people know by first name on average, 16 realtors. You just need your friends to give you one of the 5. So if you want to do 50 transactions, you need 50 super fans. How do you create super fans? You get them to self-identify. They self-identify by you starting the conversation and they want to continue it with you. And that way, let's say you have 2,000 friends on Facebook. I would argue you should have 5,000. The reason for that is the people on Facebook are not your friends. They're your network. They're who you're going to sell houses to. You should be trying to get to 5,000 because once you do that, Facebook allows you to become a public figure. And on a public figure page, you can run ads against those people that are on there. So what will happen is your 5,000 Facebook friends will immediately become 5,000 fans on your business page. And it will grow from there and you can run ads to them, right? That part right there is easy to do. It's free. New agents don't have a lot of cash. This is just sweat equity, if you will. Talking to people, being nice. And here's the worst thing that can happen. You create a new friend or reignite an old friendship. That's the worst thing that can happen out of it. And then after the conversation gets going, we're going to use the F.O.R.D to talk to them. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Where have you been? Tell me about your family. What's going on? Looks great on Facebook. What's been going on good on there? O, occupation. What's been going on with your job? R, recreation. What have you been doing for fun? D, dreams. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's going on? What's coming up in the future? Oh, the kids are graduating. We're moving to Florida. Ding, ding, ding. Real estate information. They're going to need to sell their house in 2 years, right? And when you get to all that, you get to know people. People are going to ask what's going on in your life and say, well, I don't know if you know or not, but I'm a real estate agent. And hey, do you happen to know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the next 6 months to a year? They're going to say no, because it's the first time you enter it in their brain. But they're going to say no. When they say no, say, hey, would you do me a favor? Would you just keep your eyes and ears open for it? And you run across it. And when you do, would you introduce me on a 3-way text or a 3-way Facebook message and just introduce it? I'll take it from there. I'll owe you forever. Any favor you ever need, you name it. You want me to take you to the airport? You want me to babysit your kids? You want me to walk your dog? I'm your guy. I'll do it for you. I would love you forever if you could introduce me to somebody you know. And that's it.
Thank you.
No money for that. That was more than you wanted to get, right? You're like,
That's
No.
awesome.
for new
That was
people,
all mine.
they can blow up like that. And I've got agents that are doing it. I've got agents that will be icon agents in year 2 using that method right there.
That's awesome. And guys, real quick, just to piggyback on that, Sean and Kathy and I are doing a lot of stuff with video. Kelly's starting to do some things. Just to share, one of the things that we're learning with this, again, just use your phone. No production value. No, you don't have to stand in front of a green screen and get all fancy with these videos. It's just like, you know, you're walking, you know, whatever, in your neighborhood, walking the dog, whatever. Just do a quick video. Like what Jim said, the key that we've learned too is don't watch the video before you send it. Just send it. It doesn't matter. You just be real on there. You screw up or, the dog's barking in the background, somebody rings the doorbell, just keep going with your video. Just laugh it off and just send it. If you watch it, what's going to happen? You're going to re-record it, and then you're going to re-record it. Then it's going to take you 15 minutes to send one video. You
And it
can
won't
send
be-
15 videos in the next 15 minutes, you know?
It won't be genuine. What Grant Cardone taught me, and we're teaching all of our new agents, when a lead comes in, immediately when a lead comes in, whip out your phone. It doesn't matter if you're out walking the dog and you're all sweaty, you're at the gym, you're on the treadmill, you take a video right there. Hey, Bob, saw you just came in as a lead. Wanted to let you know I'm real. I'm local here. I'm not out in some call center, but as you can see, I'm on the treadmill. I'm all sweaty. I'll catch up with you here in a little bit. Love to see what your needs are. Boom, send it. And you send it through text and you send it through email, a video. And trust me, they'll click on it, especially if you're all sweaty and messed up.
And you stand out in front of because nobody else is doing that. Nobody is sending out these videos yet. It's going to catch on more and more, but nobody's doing that right there.
People are terrified of how they look and how they sound. That's what I said to Krista Mayshore. And she said, look, she goes, here's the thing. If they don't like the way you look and the way you sound on video, they ain't going to like the way you look and sound in person. So you might as well get it out of the way now.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to waste time with them. I'm like, that's genius.
That's good. It's really good. You do that with new leads coming in like that. I mean, they're on 5 different realtors' websites. 5 realtors are trying to call them and do all this kind of stuff to get back to them. And you send a video, you stand out and you connect more than anybody else that's doing it. And next thing you know, you're going to get more and more business that way.
They
That's good
love
stuff.
the fact that you're real. I mean,
Yep.
you're out walking. I'm out walking with my dog. I got my doggy bag here with me, but hey, look, I'm on it. If you ever need me, I'm always on 24/7. I'd love to help you with the real estate needs. Boom, send it.
That's awesome. Good stuff. Jim, thank you very much, man. I know you got to run. Thanks for jumping on here. Okay. Totally appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll catch up with you guys some more in the future, man. I'll
Yeah,
the
have
islands-
fun on
I'll
your
have the islands
vacation.
behind me. We have
Heck yeah.
Wi-Fi every now and then down the island, so I'll catch up with you guys while we're down there. We'll be back for EXPCon though.
There you go, man. We'll see you there for
See you
sure.
guys. Good luck,
Have a
everybody.
great trip. Thank
See
you.
you guys.
Good stuff. Real quick, Joe. Joe, can you unmute yourself? Because I know you said you're new to the group. You're in. You're still muted. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
There you go. You're up in Montana.
I am.
How long you been in the business?
So 7.5 years.
Okay.
So I came on, so I'm a small brokerage here. And I just recently separated from my partner, like we were business partners. And she decided to focus on farm and ranch. And I've always done new construction and residential.
Okay.
Just have a couple agents underneath me. And my very good friend, Kristen, who was Kelly actually brought her on. Her and I both had small brokerages, and we've remained very close in real estate. And she started talking to me a little bit about EXP. Of course, I knew about EXP here, but didn't really know all of the, I guess, just all of the amenities that came with it, right? So it took me about 4 months to make my decision. I'm not going to lie. I going through a transition of having to split up a brokerage, and I retained the brokerage, but she split out, and that was a lot to deal with.
Sure.
So I thought, well, okay, do I really want to make a change? And so I went to Build, and Build was a great decision because it helped me kind of enveloped me into the EXP family, I guess, if you will.
Sure.
And it was more, instead of hearing people talk about it all the time, it was more about experiencing it, I guess, if you will.
Definitely.
So that's
What do you see? 7.5 years. You've done some big things. Obviously, if you're partners with a brokerage, everything else. What are you seeing for yourself? What kind of stuff are you seeing the last few months here, and a little bit of a shift in different things, and making the transition to a new company, all that kind of stuff? There's nothing easy about any of it.
Sure.
What are you seeing for yourself and just your group as far as production, and what kind of stuff? How did you connect with what Jim shared? I mean, are you doing a lot of the same kind of stuff?
Okay, so here's the thing. So on a regular basis, I absolutely am doing those things. This year's been a little bit of a different scenario for me, in the sense that obviously switching my brokerage, but then or splitting my brokerage, but I also actually care for my mom who's ailing, and so I had to take a little bit of a hiatus for a couple months. My mom is almost a hospice care, and we care for her in our home. So I had to kind of just understand that family first is way more important than the deal for me. So I had to kind of set aside, but on a traditional basis, I'm definitely out there. I'm super involved in the community. I do a lot of community, not just fundraisers with different entities, but I also do a lot. I'm very much so into my customer appreciation events. I hold 4 a year. I do all sorts of things, from renting out a pumpkin patch to I just sponsored our local Mustangs, which is it's kind of like a rookie league. We were a rookie league for the Cincinnati Reds for years. I just sponsored one of their games, and the co-sponsor was the Education Foundation. So we got involved with backpacks for kids for the year, things like that. I do a lot of that kind of stuff. That's to awesome. Give top of mind awareness, I guess, if you will.
Yeah. What do you do? Talk about the pumpkin patch thing. We're coming into that season.
Yeah.
What do you do for that? What do you do?
That's a big one. So here's what's really fun, and my clients love it. So we actually rent out a pumpkin patch here every year, and we bring in a food truck to serve food, and everybody gets to the pumpkin patch that we do. They just have it's a really great place. They have rides for the kids, and it's a huge and obviously we're in Montana, right? So there's a lot of land here. A lot of people in big cities don't have the land, right? So so that this pumpkin patch is huge, and they do rides, they do games, everybody gets to leave with a pumpkin, and kids love that. You got a family of 5, they get to leave with 5 plus mommy. I mean, they love it, and I'll do carving kits. I actually hand out carving kits. I do food. They just love it. It's just a family event, and I have probably 150, 200 people come every year, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I do get a lot of referrals that way. Okay, truth be told, you guys, honestly, I have never been super comfortable being the call me because you need me kind of realtor. I've just never been that realtor. I've always tried to make it more of like, hey, we're friends, kind of thing. So I do struggle with some of that. I am going to try some of the videos, responding to leads via video, because I think that's a great way to do it and a great way to break the ice. But I'm definitely not a heavy hitter as far as like a cold caller, door knocker. I've never been that kind of realtor.
Right.
I kind of
We're
struggle.
talking about video, Joe. Even like I was thinking as you're talking about the pumpkin patch, like imagine doing a thank you video to everybody that came, right? Instead you probably send an email or something thanking them typically, but imagine just doing a 30-second, 15-second video to every one of those people that showed up.
Oh,
Hey, it's
totally.
so awesome to
Yeah,
see
no,
you,
it's
blah,
great.
blah, blah. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, good. Well, welcome to EXP.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's awesome. So big things going on. Mike, boom. I like that nickname. Can you unmute yourself for a minute?
Yes, sir.
There you go. How long you been in the business? You're back in Nashville.
Oh, mercy. I guess it's been 18 years, I think.
Okay. Wow. So you've been through all kinds of stuff, all kinds of markets.
Mike's training for us next Tuesday.
Okay.
I am.
Nice. Looking forward to that. What are you going to be training on? What are you going to be talking about?
It's just a little bit about consistency and then a couple of tips. My bread and butter has always just been, I consistently sell, 20 to 30 houses a year. That's where I love to be. And then just spend a lot of time with my family. And it's just, I have a heart for those agents who are, kind of struggling, selling 2 to 3 million a year, but they want to get to 5 to 7 million a year. But no, necessarily they're not looking to sell 20 million a year. So I really relate to that because that's kind of where I've camped out. So just some things, and I don't like spending money, but I love what Joe was talking about. Like I do a client event every year and just really trying to, and it's just pretty much past client and referral business. And just trying to lean into that because, like I said, I'm cheap. I don't like spending money.
Well, I think with a lot of
topic-
this, go ahead, Kelly. I'm
I
sorry.
was going to say, so his topic or title next week is how to sell 25 houses a year consistently without spending any money. So it'll be a
It's
good.
not spending much. Yeah.
Without
Good topic.
without spending much money. Yeah.
Well, one of the things, it makes me think, Joe, like what Joe was saying, and we've had different masterminds on this as well, where, if you get, to bring in a food truck, I mean, that's a simple deal. That makes it more of an event in that sense. But you get a lender to help sponsor, you get, different people on board, and it doesn't have to cost this, $1,000 out of your pocket to put on this client event. I mean, you could do it for a couple $100 and
I do that. So I
Yeah.
actually do. We do get our title companies are really great about sponsoring events. So
Yeah.
we'll get one title company to do like giveaways. We'll do raffle giveaways there. I always give away little treat bags to the kids. I will say though, the pumpkin patch and the baseball game, I'm not gonna lie, I there's a lot of people there, so I spend about $1,500 to $2,000. It might seem like a lot, but to me, I mean, just from the Mustangs game, I have 2 clients and they're $800,000 buyers. So for me, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like for me, I don't mind spending that. I do my budget every year, my budget, and I'm with you, Boom. I'm like a 25 to 30, houses a year, and I'm a $7 to $9 million realtor. But at this, and I don't mind that because I have a 12-year-old and I'm getting ready to be a grandma, which I'm super excited about.
Congratulations.
But I like that sweet spot because I know I can control it, but I can leave and go on vacation with my family because that's way more important to me right now. When my little one gets a little older, I mean he's 12. So my oldest is 32, by the way, so I have a gap. But anyway, when my younger one, graduates high school, then I'll maybe ramp it up or build a bigger team underneath me or something along that line. But I like the sweet spot of that. I like the comfort of it, and I would like to break 10 million. I'm not going to lie. I'd like to see that number a little bit. That would be awesome. But spend a little money to make some money, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mhm.
For sure. No, that's awesome. Very cool. Cheryl.
Mike, do you do video?
Oh, go ahead, Kathy.
Oh, I was just gonna, Mike, do you do any video right now?
Yeah. it's like on my list. And when oh man, who was it that was on the call
Jim.
earlier?
Yeah.
Jim. When Jim was talking about trimming expenses, it's like that was really good advice, because you know you tend to get bloated in the little things. Like I pay for BombBomb, and I've been paying for BombBomb for years. I think it's like $600 a year or something. But you know, through KV Core, I know you can send a certain amount of BombBombs a month, and I just keep forgetting to check into what that looks like. But I don't send. I probably send 10 BombBombs a month. You know what I mean? But I think it's valuable to send those video emails out. They are effective. And the advice I think Jeff gave about that was good. That's what helped. Facebook Live
Don't
is
watch it.
what helped me do video, because and people expect it now, so it's normal. Because I was the same way. I tried doing video years ago, and it would take me an hour, 2 hours, you know, because it had to be perfect. And you know, I'm a Christian man, but there's a lot of cussing. Then I had to, when I would like mess up and have to restart, and I'm like, so yeah, got very comfortable. Just let it roll. Just let it roll. And they don't care anyways. So Jeff, that was really, really good advice. So yes, I will send video, and it's effective. And when I was doing set schedule, it's always a video just to say, hey, wherever you are. So that's super positive. Oh, the other thing I use video for is and this is going to get important for us as the listings are now expanding to not selling in 2 days anymore, is I do a video update to my listings, because I realized years ago it was my least favorite call on the planet was, yeah, hey, Mr. Seller, how you doing? Mike Rosenbaum, your realtor. Yeah, your house hasn't sold yet. Just so you know, yep. Just like, you know, it hasn't sold. And and they didn't like the call either, but if you don't stay in front of them, they get ticked off. And so this was really for me, but they ended up really loving it, is on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, because I'm not super scheduled. So I always tell them it'll be Tuesdays or Wednesdays. I'll send you a video, and it'll just update you on what's going on. It takes me like 5 to 10 minutes to prepare for the video. I look at all the showings. I'll do a quick search, what has gotten listed. Your competition changed, you know, hey, you know, another house just got listed that's actually way better than yours, and it's lower priced, or the opposite. Like I just give them a quick update. Hey, here's what's going on in the market. These are the showings that we had, and this is what we're doing. We're, you know, coming up on 30 days, so we'll be relisting it. And let me know if you have any questions. And it was brilliant, because I got to put my face in front of them, and they felt like I was there, but I didn't have to have that conversation that I hated, you know, and then just hear that. So anyways, video for that, I think is a great way to use video to stay in front of your clients, your listings.
One of the things, and you reminded me of it, and again, this I'm giving credit to Nick Krem that we're working with. Some of us are working with, you know, with different things. But even like you see all the time, you know, whatever, like when the house sells, and you see a post on Facebook, you know, whatever sold, you know, whatever. And here's the picture of the house or whatever it is. And Nick's thing, and I thought this was a great idea. You know, go on either Facebook Live or do a video and post the video. Stand out in front of the house or whatever, and just say, "This house right behind me, yep, we just sold it," and tell the story. Even get your clients who just moved in there, whatever, tell the story. Every house has a story in terms of what you had to go through to get to that point of closing. And especially as a realtor, you know, whatever, you know, talk about the late night on the phone, you know, working through this particular issue, whatever. You got to, you know, watch what you do, but tell the story of that way better than just a, you know, just sold, you know, kind of thing. It's like, tell the story. You're connecting with more of these people now who are going to be watching that video. And again, I don't know. You're going to get more calls off of that than the just sold post on Facebook.
You know,
can do the same thing going under contract, even when you just list it, you know, whatever, tell the story. Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, I was going to say, and what you just sparked in my thoughts was, a lot of times we'll post at closing a picture with our clients and a sold sign.
Yeah.
Imagine doing video, and then you're getting testimonials from them live right there from your client, you know, and I've not done that. I'm always like posting the sold, you know, at the closing table with my client, right, with the picture. And so that's awesome just to even do that, you know, and go live with them at the closing table after everything's done and they're excited and, you know, usually you're happy at that time. So
Yeah.
that'd be a great way just to get some video testimonials as well, live.
For sure. Video is just, it's such a way to go anymore. I mean, more and more and more, you know, get past the fear of doing it. And just like anything, the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Well, and it may be harsh, but you know, people have said, I've been hearing this for the last couple of years and it's getting more and more so, you know, but even a couple of years ago, I heard people saying, if you're not doing video in the next 5 years, you're gonna be out of business. And, you know, and now I think, yeah, it's in the next 2 or 3 years. It's like that critical to our business. So, you know, there's a lot of things as real estate agents that, you know, we're not comfortable with, you know, like Joe was talking like, I don't like door knocking. I don't like this, but video is not one of those things that I feel like we can brush under the rug. Like we've got to get comfortable with it or you're going to be left behind as a realtor. I mean, I think it's that important and, you know, none of us, well, I shouldn't say none of us, but a lot of us don't like video, but you know, it's the same thing. The more you do, the easier it gets, right? You know, the easier it gets. The first handful of times it's hard, but if you do just hit the send button and not review it, like Jeff said, like Mike said, you know, that was the best advice Nick gave because I was Mike too, you know, oh my gosh, it take me an hour to do one video because I hated every one of them. And then I may, even after an hour, I may still not send the video because I just can't get it right, you know, but now it's like, I'll shoot a video and if and I'll just hit send, I don't watch it.
So okay.
There was something that somebody said that really helped me get over not doing videos. And he said, my ugly, horribly produced, messed up video is 100 times better than the perfectly practiced, perfectly enunciated video in your mind that you never release.
Sent. That's so good. That's right there. That's it.
There's a connection made there.
Yeah.
Much more so than, you know, the polished video with music and the graphs going and then you're standing in front of a green. That's all good. There's a place for that. But these kind of videos, just quick and simple, and you can knock them out. You know, I'm connected with a lot of agents, you know, on Instagram. And, you know, every day I'm sending them a quick video, just, hey, thanks for the follow, you know, and just tell them a little bit about my story, just from a referral basis. You know, I've been doing real estate in Colorado Springs for 20 years and my wife and I work together, blah, 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 you know, just tell the quick story. And I just send them a video. They're always about 45 seconds long. And I can't tell you how many people have replied back like, wow, like, thanks for the video. Like, that's a first, you know, never had a video sent to me, like, whatever. And just, there's a connections made. In fact, we've picked, I'm trying to think if we picked up, I don't know if we picked up a deal from this, but referrals coming in, you know, just again, making that connection with realtors all over the country and just by sending them a video. So anyway, Cheryl, where are you at? I forget, you're on here just about every week. Where are you?
I'm in Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. What's business like for you right now? How long you been in the business?
38 years.
Oh my, 38 years.
Yeah. So I tell everybody I'm like their grandmother. Yeah, I'm like their grandmother. But I help a lot of other agents. I help train agents and everything too.
Sure.
And so doing video, obviously they didn't even have computers when I first got started. But that's one thing I like about being around new agents. It makes me learn different things and it keeps real estate interesting and fun.
That's awesome. What are you seeing right now with just the market? What kind of things are you seeing for yourself? Businesses with people you're training and stuff. What are you seeing?
I see business, you know, that's why I always stay plugged in. That's why I like to be here because I think whatever you see is what you're going to expect. And being around you and other groups I'm in, I see people selling and making money. So that's why I do it. I started out in double-digit interest rates, 14%. So there's always a way to make a deal. I got a new agent. She got accepted contract last night. So I just think it's important to plug in and obviously read and other things too. I pray too, Sean. But, I just think it's a combination of all these things together. And I'm expecting good things. It's, some people are going to see bad things and some people are going to see good things. I'm just expecting good things.
Definitely. Very cool. Well, good. It's always good to have you here. So
thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you
Well,
very
and
much.
kind of talking about that, a lot of it, especially as we are in the middle of a shift, a lot of it does just come down to our mindset. And how are we perceiving and how are we going to handle, the shift as things may continue to get, even tighter and tighter. But a lot of it comes down to first, having your mind right. Because we're always seeing the glass half empty and oh my gosh, it's gloom and doom and the interest rates are 6% now and all that, like that's just going to affect our own productivity. We're not going to feel like getting out there. We're not going to feel like, doing the things that we need to do. We're certainly not going to feel like getting on in front of video and doing those things that we're talking about. And so to Cheryl's point, I love what you said, Cheryl. It's like, I'm just expecting good things. So she started in the industry when interest rates were double digits, right? And, so many times, even in the circle here locally, I hear agents like, it's just doom and gloom, right? And I'm like, look, you've got to keep your mindset in a good place. I'm always telling people that, telling agents this, because if you don't, it is going to be doom and gloom. There's business for everybody, as the interest rates start going up, even more, if they do, lenders are going to come out with different programs. You're going to learn how to do short sales or something along those lines, like Jim was talking about, if that's what the need becomes, right? We will adapt as an industry. You just got to be willing to be able to adapt along with, right? And you've got to be plugged in, all that stuff Cheryl's just saying, to be able to, know like what are people doing, as things start shifting. How are they still doing the same sales or even more sales? Some agents are even, doing more sales. So I think, mindset is just.
I think it's a great time to do a little bit of targeting as far as marketing with people who are renting. People that kind of pulled back because my God, we put offers in on 5 homes, forget it. We always got beat out, whatever. Like the competing offers. You're down. You're still seeing some, a little bit if it's priced right. We're seeing a little bit here, but way less. You might not be competing at all, or maybe you're competing with 1 offer as opposed to 10.
Yeah.
And you look at it right now, rents continue to go up. They just continue to go up. People are getting out. That's a challenging place to be, and that whole idea of the fact that you can lock in your payment for the next 30 years, whatever, versus, 6 months from now, they're raising the rent again kind of thing, whatever, which is out of your control. There's a lot of different factors to look at in the interest rates. It's even educating people on the rates.
That's right.
Yeah,
Typically a recession. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just put out a flyer targeted some apartments,
Yeah.
and that's our average price point here is around 259. So I just showed them either way you're going to buy a house, and I showed them 12 months of rent, $2,000 a month, $2,400. In 20 years you pay for a house. Either you're buying your house or you're paying your landlords. And so I just put out a little graphic like that and passed it out to some apartments.
For sure. There's some good tools out there, good things that you could, put together a flyer, put some different things, post it out, do some videos out there, and send a video to different people, are renting, whatever. There's different things you could do for that.
If I could tag on that really quick too,
Yeah,
is
Joe.
I meet with lenders every single week. I have a group of 4 lenders that I work with, and they're from different companies. I do that purposely because they all offer different things. And every one of them will actually do flyers about don't wait. I said, this is what's happening if you're waiting to buy, or all of them will do these flyers. So it's worth checking with your lender, your local lenders, to see what programs they have to offer. And that's what we do. We're sending stuff out when we target renters as well. So we do the same. And they're awesome. They're great resources.
I have a question. You mentioned work with a lender, and anybody please chip in. I'm looking at starting a regular weekly session, like I'm doing start my long-term video. So like starting a weekly show. And I was looking at having lenders come with me. Do you all have them sponsor that just to help build your revenue, and just, what do you ask? What do you expect for that? I was just curious.
You're talking about like a weekly, you say a weekly show, like a Facebook Live kind of thing or something with a lender?
Yeah, I was just going to do some, cold marketing. I have a lender actually has seen some of my stuff and wants to do with me. And I'm thinking, well, I'm paying for a lot for classes. Maybe I should have them help sponsor some of what I was doing. I just wanted to know like what would be reasonable to expect.
Sure.
I
Come
think,
on, go ahead,
think RESPA, according to RESPA, I think they can pay 50%. Right. But you can get your lender, and then you get your title company, you can get it all covered. But I don't think, I think if you follow the rest of the guidelines, I think they're really only allowed to, like your lender can only pay 50%. They can't do 100%. Not to say that that's not done sometimes, but I would get them to do at least 50%. And then I'd get a title company to do the other 50%. I mean, you could do that stuff really with no cost out of pocket.
Yeah,
Well,
we've
the
done this.
title companies are they're like the lenders, most of them are very eager to support you in your business, especially if you're using that same title company regularly. They like lenders, they're very eager to help support. And quite honestly, a lot of times your home inspectors, right, and just other professions that we deal with on a regular basis, all of those are willing to sponsor, at some levels.
It makes me think of like a first-time buyer like class. Like we've done those before. You do like a Saturday morning, 9 to 10, 10 to 11. You might find like a local coffee shop or something that has like a private room or something like that. And again, you get it sponsored. And that's cheap. I mean, whatever you provide, coffee and muffins for people, whatever it costs you $50, and you get, 15 people in there that are renting, and you just go through a whole program with your lender primarily doing it. You might talk about the real estate side, the lender's talking about the lending side, everybody signs in, whatever. So you get contacts with it and, but you market that, you put it out 2 weeks, you put it every day on Facebook, a couple times a day, you're doing live videos on it, how you're going to do it. And, you do a Saturday morning class and you bring in people, do an Eventbrite link, which is free for people to register. So now you've got an idea of how many people are coming, and you could do that for free on Eventbrite, and put together like a Saturday morning seminar or a Thursday 6:30 p.m. seminar kind of thing at a place. There's different things you could do like that even, but like for you to go live even on like to do an interview, a lot of us are using StreamYard. You can get in there for free. You can pay for it if you want to do some upgrades on it, but StreamYard.com is just a way to stream live on, you go live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube all at the same time. And you can interview somebody, we were doing these and you could get a lender on there and just do a 10-minute, 15-minute interview with the lender. Let's talk about the current market. Let's talk about whatever. And now it's live. So it went Facebook Live and now you could, and you've also got it on YouTube. You could send that YouTube link now because you got it saved on there. You could send that out to your whole database of people as well. Hey, here's a quick update on the market, just in case you're looking to do anything, anybody looking to do anything, get me involved in a 3-way text or email me, kind of like what Jim said, train them how to refer people to you. But you could send that out to everybody in your database, a quick 10-minute video, and it's you interviewing a lender on, the state of the current market right now, whatever. And then you're advertising your seminar that you're doing in 2 weeks with that lender. Just different things you could do like that just don't have to cost a lot of money, and you can actually just have a lot of fun with it, I think.
Yeah.
But next thing you know, you're getting 10, 20 people to show up on a Saturday morning at the coffee shop,
That's good. I like that.
So many ways you can do this kind of stuff, whatever, that don't have to cost thousands of dollars to market. And
Mike's going to give us all of those ideas next week.
I'm looking forward to it.
Pressure's on, Mike. You said you were coming with a list of 100, right? No, I'm kidding.
You got that a couple weeks ago.
No, it's awesome. Good stuff. Anybody else? Nancy, how you doing? Where are you at, Nancy? I forget. You're on here every week. I forget. Where you doing
I'm in
business?
Orange Beach, Alabama.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. How's business for you? How are things?
It's kind of weird. I've been in the business since 2008, so I got in with short sales back then.
Yeah.
But we're a resort area, so I deal with a lot of investors, 1031 tax exchange.
Okay.
So when the prices were up, my people were calling me going, "Hey, I can make 200,000 off this." And then I was like, but where are you going to go with the 1031? So, I thank you, Jesus. I am having a good year this year. He's always good to me and provides, but it's not my best year. So I need to concentrate on off the island and get into single family because I sell a lot of condos. Okay. So that's where I was just taking notes on this whole renter thing. I think I'm going to start doing that, get some postcards together and maybe walk around off of the island into Foley, Alabama, and get some renters.
Sure. It's definitely something to think about right now. The
Mhm.
rate, and typically, none of us know where it's all going, but I mean, just so you guys know, like you look at the history with recessions, typically interest rates go up. They're kind of all over the board here lately. They have been a little bit kind of settling out. Where are they at right now? Where are they in the last few days here? Anybody
They're
know?
like in the high fives.
That's what I was thinking, high fives. So we normally see them kind of go up a little bit, but then typically in a recession, you look at the last 6 recessions, every time the rates have come down because they're trying to jumpstart things and whatever. So I think the days of the 2s those are gone. I think the 3s are gone, at least for a while. We might be in the 4s and 5s though over the next, little while here. I mean, high 5s right now. They might get up in the 6s again here. Won't surprise me. But
I
still
saw
great
somebody
rates.
the other day. My parents, I mean, bless them, they're gone, but like the house they bought 55 years ago, they did owner financing at 5.5%. I'm like, I mean, seriously, people, like we've been so spoiled,
Yeah.
like we've been so spoiled that people, especially, if you're new into the industry, that's all you know, right? That's all you know. And if you've never bought a house type thing, so we've just been so spoiled. But hey, Nancy, I was going to ask you, Jeff, we've not done a 1031 training on here, have we?
I don't think we have. No.
I would. Do you feel comfortable, Nancy, that maybe towards the end of the month, I'm just going to put you on the spot right here. Would you be willing to do a 1031 training? Because that's one avenue that I think everybody can, number one, get value out of and pick more business up, if they really understood the 1031s and how to approach people, that have investment properties or want to get investment properties or want to be able to get rid of investment properties without having to pay the taxes, the tax implications. Is that something that you feel comfortable that you could put together maybe a 30-40 minute training for us on?
I can try. I don't really get in. I've got a really good 1031 tax exchange attorney.
I got you.
So I ask the right questions to find out if they're selling a property or, if they can do it. So, and then I just send them to them. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk offline about it. I didn't mean to call you out, but that is something I think I'd love to have a class on here. And so whether it's you or somebody, I think, we'll work on lining that up, but we can talk offline about that.
Okay.
But it just made me think about like, that's a good educational area that for us to all be familiar with and have some knowledge with, and at least know where to go, if we've got people that may fit that bucket, so to speak.
Right. I'm also an ex-legal secretary, so I try to stay away from those gray areas. I mean, I know enough to like I said, to ask the right questions and send them to Lori. But I think you can get yourself in trouble if you go too deep.
Yeah. And maybe, so we could talk offline. Jeff, I'm going to have to run. I've got a Zoom I've got to jump on, but y'all all have a great week.
Thanks for being on here. Just one last thing I want to just pull out here real fast. It was something that reminded me when we were just talking. There's a local realtor here in Colorado Springs. He's a broker owner. And a few days ago, he put this on Facebook and it just kind of got me thinking. He says, so in our MLS, right here in Colorado Springs, we have these homes with assumable loans listed as a searchable field in the system, 21 total. Unfortunately, I know there's a ton more out there, but not being marketed properly. If you've been thinking about making a move and want to get a home with a cheap payment, give me a call. There are ways to keep your payment low. I'll give an example, one of the homes on this list, and he gives the address here. This home can be bought by assuming the loan with the following terms. The purchase price, $449,900. The assumable loan, $329,000. The interest rate, 2.6%. Monthly payment, $1,365 per month, principal and interest. Contrast this with a new loan at the same loan amount, and the current interest rate would cost over $1,900 a month. If you've got some cash to put down from selling a home or saved up, you can really save by doing a mortgage assumption. Call me to learn how. So again, just something to maybe think about and look on your MLS and maybe, just because again, VA loans, assumable, things to think about, because a lot of those loans were done the last several years here, whatever, and the interest rates are, again, down in the 2s and the 3s on some of these. And it's again a thing. FHA loans also. Yep, Mike. Absolutely. So maybe an avenue we haven't really thought about or explored. It hasn't been out there for a while, but that's something to think about now as the rates have gone up into the 5s and 6s. Another angle in terms of just marketing and different things, and even reaching out to some people, But I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that real quick, but I don't know. That just came up a couple of days ago and it just kind of hit me. But go ahead, Joe.
I did. So I just started a podcast a couple weeks ago, and our very first guest was a lender, and we talked about assumable loans. And what I'll do is I'll send you guys a link on it. She's amazing. She talked about some of that. And the most important thing to think about assumable loans, though, is that it has to actually go through that servicer of the loan, right? So some of them, it could be just a random company, and then they charge the fees they charge are pretty exorbitant for them. So you got to come up with a lot more cash, right? So, but it's kind of an interesting concept, and we did talk about that a little bit. And but I didn't realize that you couldn't use your local lender. It really had to go through the servicer of the loan, which is kind of interesting. And in some cases, she could facilitate them, but it really just depended. So it would be a process, but it would definitely be worth looking into if it was right.
Sure. Cool.
And if people have cash, for sure.
What we'll do, maybe Joe, I'll post this recording. This will be on the workplace group probably within the next 30 to 40 minutes. Maybe later today, if you get a chance to go into the workplace group, maybe you could post the link in the comments for that podcast.
Yeah, I'll do that. So here's the deal. I'm in the process of getting workplace set up, so it might be
Okay.
tomorrow.
That's fine.
But,
That's fine.
yeah, so
You
for
could
sure.
email it to us as well. We could get it on
Yeah.
there as well. Email it to
Yeah.
Kelly or whatever. So that's awesome.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, for sure.
well, guys, thank you very much for getting on here. It's always good when we do this stuff. Appreciate everybody's input, everybody's thoughts. Next week, Mike, it's gonna be the best one we've ever had. So get rid. No pressure, Mike.
I will say, invite your folks. If especially if some of these big dogs are intimidating to them, I will not intimidate them. I promise you that.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun.
No, it's gonna be awesome.
interactive. And I am going to
No.
catch something on fire. Literally, I will catch something on fire on a video. So you have that to
Very
look
cool.
forward to.
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys being on here every week. Just know we do this every week. And know this too, guys, just a reminder, this is always open to everybody, okay? Outside, they don't have to be part of EXP to be on here. We don't talk EXP on here a lot at all. So it's always open to other agents. Definitely just add value out there. It's what we're about. So so don't hesitate to reach out and invite, just your agent friends, people you've done deals with, invite them in so they can see what we're doing, but give them some good value as well. We'll be back here next Tuesday at the same time. So anyway, guys, have a great rest of your week. If we can help you at all, reach out to us. Let us know. We're here to do that. Okay. Have a
Can
good
I
one.
ask, can I
Say
ask
what?
one question?
Yes, go ahead.
I missed the part about Nick Krim.
Okay.
Is this recorded, or like we'll be able to see the recording, or can you just give me a synopsis of what his name was mentioned about?
Yeah, this is recorded. Sherry, if you want, I'll give you a call or something. We'll talk offline. I can give you some info as far as what
Okay.
Nick is doing. Okay. So,
All right,
but you
and
will
I'll-
find this recording up on the Workplace Group Freedom Team. Okay.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Sherry. I'll give you a call. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.